Still working on the body here. Various stages of getting it polished out. Kind of looking for that flat glass look. It's actually pretty hard to get. You know, because the paint job looks good. If it's shiny, it looks good. And you know, even if it's got orange peel, which most paint jobs do have a little bit of orange peel. You know, even this up here, which looks pretty good, it's nice and shiny and flat. I'm actually going to sand that down again, get it a little bit better. I don't know if I could show you. There's this little orange peel. Little tiny bits, not bad right there. On the other side, a little bit worse, a little bit lumpy. I'm being pretty picky, but I am going to sand that down one more time. And I'll cut it down with 1500 using a block. And then once I get it flat enough, I go back over it with 2000. It's too hard to get the 1500 scratches out. You know, and to get it perfect, actually what I've been doing is blocking it down with 1500, and then I'll hit it with a buffer, and that lets me see what it looks like better, which is where I'm at with this. I just hit this with 1500 and did a quick, you know, one-time polish on it. You can see sand scratches in there still. And this all looks real good, so I'll go over this with 2000, and then that'll polish up real quick. And I don't know if you can see, like, there's a little gouge right there from the 1500. And you know, I could get that gouge nice and smooth, but it won't be gone. So that's why I use the 2000 to finish it off. And then that ends up polishing out just perfect. So, you know, to get it the next stage beyond just a little bit of orange peel down to flat, you kind of have to do that. There's other tricks where you can mimic a clear coat over it, you know, like get it wet and you can see the gloss of what it would look like. But it's easier for me. It takes 2 minutes, you know, just to polish that real quick. Put a little bit of polish on there and hit it. Wipe it down. You can see exactly what it looks like, and if you need to sand it more, you sand it more. So this stuff I haven't touched yet, but I'm going to have to sand like hell on the rest of this still. This isn't good enough. So it's going to take quite a while to get it just right. Those doors that I did up, you know, they're just perfectly flat, and it would have looked pretty dumb. Stick those doors up next to a little bit of orange peel, you can tell the difference. So, you know, it's got to be flat, and I still got to do the hood too, and that'll have to be just as flat, otherwise it'll stick out like a sore thumb. So got a lot of grinding to do on this thing. I got a lot of paint on the hood. I don't have so much paint on the body, so I got to be careful I don't go through on it. And if I do, then you figure out if you can patch it in, spot it in somehow, or put an emblem over it, hide it, or redo the whole damn thing, whatever. So the battle goes on. Getting a little bit closer and still working it down with the 1500. Getting it flat. Like this part right here. Probably looking pretty good, you know. I spent a lot of time looking at the reflection of the light. Yeah, I can see a little bit of waviness right here versus down here it's not. You know, so I may even just sand that part a little bit more. like this in here, you can kind of see maybe as I go up and down how the reflection of that light is distorted by the waviness, you know, in the paint. So I'll have to sand this whole area again, get it a little bit flatter. And you know, that's just the pattern I've been doing. I sand everything down, polish it up a bit so I can see it, and a little bit more sanding. So I pretty much got everything done except a couple little spots on this side, and now I'm been working on the back. Doing the same thing back here. Just when you think you got it all done, you know, you polish it up a little bit and you see a spot that you need to go back and hit again. So anyway, this is the last section back here and a couple more spots on the side, and then I'm ready to go over it real quick. It don't take much. Once you get it this far with the 1500, it really don't take much time at all with the 2000. You know, because you're not trying to get it flat, you're not trying to sand nothing out. All you're trying to do is get rid of some gouges that were put in there. You know, from the 1500 grit, scratches polish out. Problem is when you're blocking that thing, you know, sometimes I'd try and do a circular motion to where I never stop, because every time you stop, the thing digs an edge in. And I don't know, maybe I can find a spot where I could show that's happening. But anyways, when you stop, it actually digs an edge. You know, you can't hardly see it, but it's there. And when you polish that off, you end up with a little gouge spot that's rounded out, and it's not flat, it's distorted. So, you know, that's why I go over it with the 2000. It gets rid of those gouges, and then when you polish it up, you know, you only have to hit it like once or twice with the polisher, you know, and those 2000 scratches are gone, and it's flat. It just focuses that shine just one more little notch. So anyway, we'll hit it with the 2000 real quick and get that part done. I'm just looking at it as I'm checking it out. I see little spots here and there I want to hit again, so it's never ending. Well, I got some more polishing done. Just a little bit more to do on the hood, inside the vents right here. Headlight bucket around here a little bit better. But it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I'll have to see what it looks like outside, because the body has a lot of solvent pop. That did not sand out, so I'm sick and tired of working on this thing though, so I'll probably just run it for a while and redo it later on, you know, once it gets messed up some. Be a good excuse to paint it again, touch it up later on. But it came out pretty good. This part here has the glaze on it, where the swirl marks are out of it. So it's got a little bit extra gloss compared to the hood. Well, you're looking at one of the worst paint jobs I've ever done. Doesn't look like it, does it? But it is. I can't believe all the problems that I've had. You know, ended up a solvent pop over the whole thing. Who knows why? I'm tired of trying to figure it out. I'm done with it for now. It is what it is, so I mean, you can't hardly see it. You certainly can't see it in the videos. But if the light gets on it just right, if they're concentrated enough, you know, you can see them. So this thing's slated to get repainted in the future real soon. But I'll go ahead and get it done the way it is. And then you know, let it get a few rock chips in it, let it get a few scratches in it. Not be afraid to let the tires roast and, you know, kick it up on the body and stuff like that. So whatever, just go with it. But yeah, I can't believe it. I've painted so many cars in here. Some of them you care about, some of them you could care less, and you know, they turn out nice. Every one of them. And then you get a project like this, you want it to turn out really nice. You know, I even rented a paint booth. Ended up doing it again in here. And you know, the paint gods are just against me on this one. What can I say? I'm gonna quit fighting it. This is... But crap, it looks nice though. Looks freaking nice. So shiny. So yeah, I'm gonna clean up the garage, get the chassis back in here, iron out a few details, get it ready to put the body back on it. So time to start thinking about something else. My back is killing me from all this stuff. Yay, got it back in here. Makes me feel better. And got everything cleaned up. Pressure washed the garage. Feels good. Hung up those extra lights, so now I got a little more light in here. And I've just been spending some time making up a list. Different things I need to do to get the body on it. You know, a couple small oil leaks. Just where the air filters sit a little bit. And yeah, just a couple little things I've noticed I gotta tidy up, and then I gotta do things like the seat belts and get the mirror mounted up there where I want it, you know, things like that, and get some of those details finished up. I gotta figure out some inside door latches, decide if I want to put any you know, put a spot for a tow hook somewhere, you know, and that kind of thing. So get all that done before I put the body on it. Yeah, this has to be finished off. You know, I probably ought to get the dash squared away with the vents. You know, all these little things got to be finished up. So still a lot of stuff to do. Little nitpicking stuff, which seems to be the hardest to do, you know. So I just got to make a list, point at one thing on the list and do it, you know, and then just start crossing things off, and eventually we'll get her all done. I did find out the problem with the ISIS. I had too small of a fuse for one of my accessory wires on the ignition, so that's The only problem I had with my ISIS was wrong fuse selection, so got the fuse in there, and we're back to business as far as starting and running the car with the ISIS system. So glad to report there really wasn't nothing wrong besides my head spinning and not being able to figure it out quick enough. But that's why I made that key, wired that key up, you know, for things like that, so it's all good.